Near the start of the 20th century, America saw the rapid growth of the amusement park industry, with hundreds of parks being built all across the country. Even a small city, like Columbus, Ohio, saw several parks pop up during this era. Perhaps the first park seen in the city was called Minerva Amusement Park, though saying it was in the city of Columbus is a bit of a stretch. Minerva was constructed about 10 miles from downtown Columbus, the population center it hoped to draw from. Now that may not sound too far, but keep in mind that this is in the time before widespread automobile use. Traveling to Minerva was time-consuming. So why was Minerva built so far away from Columbus? How do people travel to the park without cars? And on top of all of that, why isn't the park still around today? The answer is found in the rise of the trolley lines that once dominated American cities, the very same trolley lines that went on to popularize amusement parks in America. This is the story of Minerva Amusement Park, Columbus's failed trolley park. The 1800s saw urban transit undergo a rapid evolution. At the start of the century, horse-powered lines were most prevalent. However, by the 1890s, electric rail had become the standard, with electric trolley systems being constructed in most major cities. In the 1890s, Columbus indeed had a network of electric streetcars. Despite this, an 1891 incident showed that transport to the surrounding rural communities was limited. 400 locals living on the outskirts of Columbus had purchased a ticket to the state fair and hoped to use the electric trolley system for transportation into the city. However, the train drove right past their stop, apparently already being filled to capacity at earlier stops. The community was not particularly happy with this mishap, and it became the subject of discussion at a public meeting. A man named Gary Waldo Meeker suggested the construction of a new electric trolley line to better suit the needs of the community. And that's exactly what happened. By 1895, the Columbus Central Railroad Company had formed and completed Meeker's idea. Meeker himself was named secretary and treasurer of the company. Many of the trolley lines built during this era, including Meeker's, were private ventures. They provided what amounts to a public service, but they did not have public funds to fall back on. The bottom line is that private railroad companies needed to be concerned with their bottom line. A major challenge to this were weekends and evenings, where ridership was generally much lower. Once again, Meeker offered a solution. He pushed for an amusement park to be built near the northern end of the railway, suggesting that it would increase ridership. His idea was common practice for the time. These amusement parks built along trolley lines became known as trolley parks. Trolley parks began as simple leisurely areas near the end of a railway, perhaps with picnic groves and a body of water. But as time went by, parks were built to include more elaborate entertainment, as well as early mechanical amusement park attractions. Opening in 1895, Minerva Amusement Park was certainly more than a picnic grove and a lake. However, it was still a far cry from what amusement parks would eventually become. A map of the park, based on an old insurance map, gives us an idea of the layout and attractions located at the park. The park was centered around a small lake, with the rail line crossing over the northern end. Attractions included a scenic railway, which was an early roller coaster model, a museum, which other sources identify as being focused on birds, and a water slide, which I believe to be a shoot-the-chutes attraction. Most popular was the casino, which actually banned alcohol and gambling and was most known for its stage productions. Overall, the park, including the on-site jail cell, was very standard for the time. Upon its opening, it faced little competition and likely helped the trolley line remain profitable. This all changed in 1899 with the opening of Olentangy Park. Olentangy, a trolley park itself, was much larger and offered many more attractions compared to Minerva. Furthermore, Olentangy was only 3.5 miles from downtown Columbus, making it much more accessible to the majority of the population. Not a lot is recorded about how Minerva acted during this period. What is known is that by 1902, Minerva closed its doors. It simply could not compete with a superior, far more accessible park. The fact of the matter is that the railway was the real business, with the park serving to promote its profitability. There was little other reason to build a park so far away from a small city. Notably, some trolley companies had a lot of success with this model, seeing park profits far outmatch those of the railway itself. But given how Minerva compared to the competition, it simply wasn't able to remain open. Today, Minerva has been transformed into a quiet suburban village, named Minerva Park. Outside of a historical marker dedicated to the amusement park, there is no trace of what once was. All things considered, Minerva's second life as a village may be the most unique or interesting fact related to the amusement park. And that's exactly the point. Minerva was not special. Rather, its story demonstrates the phenomenon that introduced amusement parks to the American masses. Some historians have gone as far as crediting the trolley companies as being, quote, directly responsible for the establishment of the amusement park as an American institution. I'm inclined to agree. Simply put, the trolley line business model resulted in thousands of amusement parks being built by the 1920s, putting at least one amusement park in nearly every major city and firmly establishing them as an American pastime. While most trolley parks like Minerva are now long closed, their importance in shaping the amusement park industry is immeasurable. And with that, thank you for watching.